Happy to be joined again by Nick Nurse. And Nick, before we chat about return to play, which is, of course, something everyone's really excited about, I really wanted to start with something which is much more important, of course, what we're seeing in both the United States and here in Canada with the Black Lives Matters protests. I know you used the word heartbreaking to describe George Floyd's death, and I'm curious now what word you'd use to describe all of the things we've seen throughout the world since.
Yeah, I guess opportunity would be the word I use now. I think that, as sad and unjust as a lot of things have been, in particular George Floyd, it seems that the momentum and the opportunity for change is here in real and growing momentum. So you never say you're happy with that under these circumstances, but I think we are trying to do everything we can to make the best of it and make some change.
What kind of conversations has this maybe prompted within your own circles, within your family, your friends?
Yeah, lots of them. Constant, really. And again, I'd share a little bit broader than that. I think that first of all, had several calls with the team. We had just one right after another with the whole group together, and they were just kind of open forums to discuss anything about it, and obviously there was also some action plans and ideas of things we could do to help. The 30 head coaches immediately got on a call and formed a subcommittee quickly, led by Lloyd Pierce and Greg Popovich and Steve Kerr and several others, to again start action. And they've met 3 times. We've met again twice yesterday. Again, just instead of statements and everything are nice, but we're trying to put some action and plans in place while this momentum and while we're kind of, I guess swimming downstream, we got some momentum to go, and we're being very active. So I would say this, that from myself to our leadership group with the Raptors, to the players, to the head coaches in the league, it's been a pretty much all-consuming thing for the last 2 weeks.
And I think anyone who's been paying attention has seen that your organization has really been vocal throughout. We've seen Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam speak up, Kyle Lowry marching in Philadelphia, Masai Ujiri's op-ed. There's so many things that we've seen. Why, though, specifically, do you think the NBA is so important to harness this moment and create change? What role does the NBA really play here?
I think, again, everybody uses the word platform, right? We've got a platform, but we've also got a unique one. I think, all the 4 major sports have a platform. NBA is a little unique in the fact that, I don't know, especially like if you would go to a Toronto Raptors game, you see every color of skin from all over the world at a game. I always say this, not to brag about it at all, but my first and lasting impressions from the championship parade were looking down at all those smiling faces of young kids in our city from literally every color. It just struck me as what a unique city, and it strikes me now as how big a platform that is. With them looking up to us, or enjoying in the success that we had, or seeing our players as role models or advocates, or whatever they can see them as, to make things better in the future.
Now, amidst all of this, you're also preparing for return to play, Nick. What was your initial reaction to the proposed plan that we're now all aware of, the 22 teams heading to Orlando?
Yeah, like everybody else, I'm excited. I think it's our team's good, right? And I love being around them. I miss them. I think that. I think I've been around sports long enough to understand that not every team you have or every season you have is super enjoyable. In fact, some of them aren't, because of dynamics or one loss total or whatever, injuries or some things that make seasons long and tough. But these have these 2 years that I've been with this team have been so enjoyable to be around these guys. And I think, it's going to be good to get back together. I think we deserve a shot to make another run at it. And I think we're good enough to make another run at it.
You have that, that chemistry. We saw it going into the break. That's so strong on this team, but this is going to be a unique situation all around. Do you feel like the focus or the strategy has to change because of that?
I don't think so. I mean, I would probably be accepting of taking a little time maybe to have. I mean, our chemistry was clicking we went out west and won 4 out of 5, right before this thing started. So we were playing, and I'm excited. I think that we're going to get everybody back. I think healthy, right?
Yeah.
We haven't been healthy all year, so that's another thing we should be excited about. I think that maybe it'll take some time. I don't think you want to get too anxious if it doesn't look as pretty as it looked the last time you saw us play, and it'll take some working through. And part of the vision of the restart will be let's have some patience. Let's fix what we can fix, but let's remember that who we are. We play hard and we play D and we share the basketball.
All of those things stand true, but you're also Mr. Creativity. So I'm curious if you've come up with any new schemes that you'll have up your sleeve, maybe a new way to stop Giannis. You've had lots of time on your hands, Nick, to come up with some creative new elements. Do you have any of those?
Yeah, I have lots of them, but I'm not going to share any of them with you.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But, we got a few things up our sleeve, and we'll see. Well, we got eight regular season games to test a few of them out, and then we'll probably bust a few things out. I'm gonna try something. If it doesn't work, I'll stop it really quick, though.
Fair enough. Never afraid to try, though, and that's the key, right?
Move on to the next one.
Now, you mentioned 8 games. You have 8 games, and then you're right into the playoffs. Which team? Do you have a team in particular, maybe even just your own, do you think is going to benefit the most from this condensed format?
No, I don't think there's anybody you can look at and say they're really going to benefit. I mean, there may be some other teams that feel like, oh my God, we're going to get some guys back that we didn't plan on getting back. I see that a couple teams have lost guys as well, Utah and San Antonio. I think Philadelphia will be getting a couple guys back. The one thing I say is we have a great record at home. We have a great record on the road. That should translate very well to a neutral site. I think we play, regardless of circumstance, we play. That should benefit us. I also think that there'll probably be some upsets. I would imagine that the atmosphere, the environment, or something will affect some teams negatively, and they may get bounced early. But I think, again, we've been through a lot. We kind of figure things out pretty good, no matter the environment. So we'll be okay.
Now, this is, of course, all dependent on the fact that health and safety will come first, and there's so many details still to be worked out in that respect. But do you have any reservations? Are you concerned about anything going in?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, I think that, if you just are paying attention to anything that's going on around the world, I think you get concerns almost anytime you have to go out right now, right? So, yeah, I have some concerns. I think that I would say this: I trust the leadership of the NBA very much. I'm honored and privileged to be a part of this league, and so I think they're going to do a great job of trying to make it as safe as reasonably possible. And I'm looking forward to operating in that environment. I think they'll do everything they can. Again, a lot of faith in our medical team and team doctors and everybody like that. So be a little risk there for sure, but we'll try to focus in as best we can and do the job at the highest level we can.
With all of this unknown, they're trying to figure out ways to make this, as compelling and competitive and as close to what it could have been before in terms of the playoff structure. Did you see the list of the potential home court advantages that were being thrown around? And if you did, which one do you like the most, Nick?
I've seen a couple of them, but I think they ought to just give us like a 10 or 20 point lead to start.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. 10-0, 20-0, whatever, depending on what seed you are. So.
Oh, that's too funny.
I don't think any of those are going to matter too much, and I think it's just going to be It's neutral site, man.
Yeah.
4 out of 7. I always say this, we're hard to beat, and we're really hard to beat 4 times. So
Yeah.
I don't really mind a home, away, or neutral.
All right, one last question for you, Nick. Have you seen the photo floating around of Marc Gasol, and does that give you maximum confidence you're going back to back?
Well, I've seen Mark quite a bit, actually, other than that photo in Zoom calls, etc. Mark's one of the guys I don't worry too much about, to be honest with you. I love the one story I love about Mark. I can't really remember exactly which game it was. It maybe between game 2 and 3 or 3 and 4 in the Phillies series last year. Mark hadn't played all that well in the playoffs yet, and he had a really, really rough game, and we got beat pretty bad. And everybody was like, we got to bench Gasol and this and that and blah blah blah. And I remember getting home and calling him up, and he said, "I'll be ready next game, coach." It was a really short conversation. He came out and played lights out, so I don't worry too much about him.
No, savvy veteran, that Marc Gasol. Thanks so much for chatting, Nick. And of course, we're all really excited to see what the Toronto Raptors can do when they get back to playing.
Thanks for having me.